much for joining me today. I finally bought myself something new again. One of my subscribers, Bernie Miller, told me about a special that was on with these Sennelier watercolor paints, and it was a really good special, so I was excited to get them, and they arrived day before yesterday, and I'm very excited to unpack them and swatch them. So they come in this nice little tin. I bought them from a shop in South Africa called the Italian Art Shop, and they were just under 400 Rand, just over 400 Rand with delivery. I love this tin, it's beautiful. And then there's a little pamphlet telling you all about Sennelier, which I'll go through later. I do have some of the Sennelier oil pastels, the oil sticks, and I've not actually tried their watercolors, so I'm very excited about that. And then in the set, they're quite big, they're 10 milliliter tubes. So we've got lemon yellow, let me put this aside, bright red, ultramarine blue, Chinese orange, it's interesting, and this is the one that I'm very pleased about, particularly Payne's Grey. So I'm going to squeeze some out. I bought myself a new palette because I want to try and get, all my palettes seem to be so muddled up and I can't figure things out. So I'm going to squeeze a little of each of these. I'll leave room for another yellow. So there's the lemon yellow going in, just a little bit there. Then the bright red. I'll leave some room for some, I'm not sure if you can see here, for some other yellows and maybe a yellow ochre or something, orange. And then I'm going to put the bright red here. Who knows, maybe one day I'll win R1 million and I'll be able to buy more Sennelier paints. Then from there, we're going to go to the Chinese orange. Actually, that should probably come before the red. It looks a bit like a burnt umber almost. Then we've got the bright blue. I'm not squeezing too much out here in case I want to change how I've got things in the palette. This is not bright blue, this is ultramarine blue, which is apparently a very good mixing color. And then the Payne's Grey. Going to put this in the corner here. There we go. And now I'm going to swatch them. Got my trusty piece of paper towel. And so I'm going to take some of the wet paint. Sure, it's a bright orange, bright yellow, and then I'm going to water it down and water it down. And go on to plain water. This isn't the best paper, that's beautiful, beautiful color. Clean that off. Try this Chinese orange. One always hears of Chinese white, but not Chinese orange. Oh, that's, I've got the very thick paint here. Oh, Elizabeth, what are you doing? It's a beautiful color, I like that. And just plain water. brilliant red. I've just been doing a class with Sanina Nabil on Skillshare, and she uses her paints straight from the tube, and she tends to use them with that bright, intense color and gets the most amazing results, which don't really look like watercolors, but they look beautiful. And now the ultramarine. I haven't left myself much room. And just taking it down here, and let's do the Payne's grey. Oh, it's a nice Payne's grey. I love Payne's grey. I'm very keen to do a kind of a monochrome leaves or something, and I thought Payne's grey or maybe ultramarine blue or even yellow could be fun to do it in. Now we're going to try a little bit of color mixing. So I already just want to make sure this brush is clean. I've mixed some of the ultramarine blue and some of the lemon yellow. There we are. Quite a nice green. Let me be more gentle. I'm doing these mixes on a better paper. This is actually Arches. The other was very, very inexpensive Dale Rowney paper. So now, what shall we try? Let's mix lemon yellow with all sorts of things. So we're going to take a little bit more lemon yellow. Now let's clean our brush and try and mix it with some of the Chinese orange and see if it makes a paler orange. Of course, orange is already a mix of red and yellow, so it's not going to be all that different. I just want to see if it makes a different. I can never remember if it's a shade or a tone when things get lighter, but a slightly different variation of the orange. That looks fairly similar to me. Have a look at the difference. It's very close. I'm going to mix a little bit more yellow into that. Just playing around a bit here to see what it looks like. It's always nice to see just how many colors you can get from just the few tubes of paint. One does like, I mean, I think we're all art supply hoarders one way or another, but that's a pretty orange. Try that off. So that's with the Chinese orange and the lemon yellow. I'm going to use some more of the lemon yellow, and I'm going to mix it with the bright red and see what kind of an orange we get there. I'm not used to using paint straight from a tube. I find there's so much more paint than when you've let it dry out. So here we've got some of the brilliant red mixed now with the lemon yellow. I have not put enough lemon yellow there. That's going to be more or less red. It does change the color slightly, if you can see it against the plain red, but now I'm going to add a bit more of the lemon yellow into it. I don't usually use a flat brush. I usually use a round brush, but I've been watching so many people swatching with flat brushes and they seem to work quite well, and I thought, let me give my flat brush a chance. It's like it sits there doing nothing all the time. So much of the lemon yellow here in these bristles. I think it needs more of the yellow. It's a very pale colour. Of course, this water is now starting to look a little bit like soup. Now I've mixed a lot of the lemon yellow in there. This Chinese orange is quite a strong colour. It's quite a pigmented colour, I suppose is the word to use. Interesting. Oh my goodness, there, that's quite pretty. All right. We've done it with the blue. And I wonder what happens when you mix lemon yellow with Payne's grey. So a bit more of the lemon yellow there. Just take more. Rinse the brush off in the soupy mix. More off and take some of this Payne's grey, not too much. It also has a kind of a, oh, I rather like that. That's like a very dusky green, almost like a chrome oxide green in a way. Isn't that pretty? It's a pretty colour. Okay, so now, next colour mix that I'm going to do is with the red, which is a primary colour over here. And I'm going to mix that. Let me just put some water in it. Can you see what I'm doing? And then I'm going to mix that with some of the blue. We've got a rather nice violet. Wait, I've got too much blue on my brush on the other side. I'm just going to bring some more water to it. That's beautiful. It's a nice dusky violet, isn't it? I like that. All right, and now let's add, shall we add a bit more blue to that and see what happens, how it changes. So as you change your ratios, so that's now purple. Lovely. And now, last one, I'm going to try Payne's grey with a bit of water. It is watercolor, it needs water. And I'm not going to clean my brush, I'm going to put some of the ultramarine blue in there. And that should give us like a deep Prussian-y blue. Ooh. Ooh, look at that for a night sky. Now let's play and let the two kiss each other and bleed into each other. Oh, a romance made in heaven. Oh, I love that. That excites me, that colour. Thank you so much for watching the video. If you haven't subscribed already, please do so and hit that little notification bell so you'll be told when there's another video. Please drop me a comment. I love getting comments from you and I respond to every comment. Have a wonderful day and a happy Easter. Goodbye now.